One. Hello, Internet, and we are back for Escape Velocity. It's been a while, but we are here and ready to play some more Stars Without Number. We are still down to Z, but we hope that she will be able to join us soon. Yeah, let's see. Just watched our intro video, which I forgot to switch away from for a second. So if we were black for a minute, that's fine. But we're here now. And yeah, so that tells you a lot about what we do on this channel. Lots of tabletop role-playing games of all sorts. The newest edition is the Friday game is now a Dragon Age RPG game. Red Jenny. They had their first session of that last week, but it and most of our other shows won't be happening this week as we've got lots of people out for travel. So certainly Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, no GGK streams because people are traveling. Maybe back on Monday. That's unclear. So it's possible that the next Tuesday, which would be Squire Squad, is the next time this channel will be live. But the best way to know when we are doing things is to follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, and that's where we talk about the things that we're doing. Let's see. I think that's it for channel stuff. So let's go around and introduce ourselves. We'll go in order on the screen this time. So we'll start with David, as Mecha sighs with relief.
Yeah, David. I'm here on Tuesday nights. Tonight I am the GM of this wonderful Stars Without Numbers game. I'm done.
Yeah. I'm next up. I'm Alex, OMG It's Some Guy on the Internet's mostly here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Sunday evenings over on LB's channel in the shenanigans over there. That game is also not happening this Sunday. So it's a quiet week for most of us, which, might be needed. But yeah, in this game, I am playing Teddy, who is a bunny person, courtesan, is also psychic, and is the captain of the ship that we have. LB, you're up.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. Tonight I am playing Neith. She is a engineer, a hacker, all of the fun technical things that are needed to run a ship. I am streaming this week today, yesterday, and then not back until next week, Monday, because I am also traveling. I've also been fed a lot of really good food today and some nice beverages. So I am in super chill mode tonight. So bear with me. All right, Mecca, take it.
And I suppose that leads on to me.
She told you to take it.
Sure. Yep. I've taken it. My brain's kind of fried today. Sorry, everybody. Hello, I'm Mecha or Mecha Spider or at Mechaloid Spider on Twitter. You can find me on mostly other people's channels on Twitch, but I will not go into that because their names are names. Yep. I am playing Scarra. He is a human, but he has L robot legs with jetpack. He is the pilot of the crew, and he is happy to be here and on a ship. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so last time you guys did you finish up both jobs last time, or did you just do the diplomacy thing and then we still got to finish that up?
So we did the whole breaking into the apartment complex to do that job.
Okay.
We also went off planet and did the going into those old alien.
It's not off planet,
just out of the city.
Oh, out of the city. Brain, yeah. You know how it is.
No worries.
We went out city and we landed nearby, but we didn't actually go up to get. We wouldn't go like on the sensors. We climbed up the rock, up the hill, and Teddy was tethered to Scarra, and Neith just climbed because she's sticky. And we got inside and eventually found the thing we were looking for in the dark tunnels, but it did take us some time. We got out just in time before scouts came to survey the area. Scarra almost fell to his death, but luckily Teddy caught him.
All
I
right.
believe that's what happened, and then we're making our way back to the ship. Yes.
Yeah. Excellent summary. Yes. Literally could not have done it better. So there's yeah. So yeah, you've made it back to the ship. You're headed back to the city. Um it will take time to set up a meeting with the diplomat, as you know, he is a diplomat. And clearly doesn't want his involvement with you known, you know. Um so you kind of let Anna Molly know what's the what, and she's going to set up a meeting where you can get him his com. Uh, and and yeah, that's so you have probably at least a day. You're not 100% sure. You're kind of on call right now as to when you're going to get this meeting.
Where exactly are we?
So you will have made it back to the city that you were in, um, which I don't know if we established what it was.
Wasn't just
Uh,
New Soul, was it? That's like the
no, because
system.
that's the planet's name. So
Yes.
I believe you're in. I don't know how to pronounce it though. It's like Taybake, Taybake. I don't know. I have to.
I'm not seeing it in my notes.
I may not have told you guys what it is.
I
I'll spell it
don't
out
believe so.
in Discord. I might have to look up a pronunciation of it.
I want to pronounce that Tyebake, but that's just me.
I don't know
Uh,
enough about the vowels in Korean.
Yeah, I haven't learned Korean. I mean, I've read Korean manga, but it's all
mhm.
translated to English.
Tayback.
Taybek. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're in
Means
Taybek.
bright mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Tayback. Yeah.
You are our resident K-pop expert, so
Well, I
Have
looked
the
it
hair
up.
for it.
Thank you, though.
Don't
I
get
think
anywhere without
I think that Neith is working on Pleasant, sort of checking out how their systems work and how their like physical being is put together, to see if there's like any upgrades I can do, or like just to get familiar with it in case I need to repair it later.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Um. Give me a. So this is going to be one of those where it's like, because of your background, you're not going to be able to fail it, but I am going to ask you to roll
Sure.
to see if you do exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a fix.
Okie dokie. That's
Okay.
12.
Back to the good rolls
Starting off
after
strong
the
from
break
last
in
week.
last time.
Look.
um yeah, so he is uh the complexity of his design is pretty significant. It's very intricate, and he bought along a lot of spare parts and kind
Mm-hmm.
of a charging station and stuff like that you've installed in the ship. We'll say you guys had I guess you didn't come here in this ship, but you've had a little bit of time, and the stuff was pretty much ready to go. Maybe we'll say that you finished installing it even with this roll.
Sure.
So yeah, he's good to be fixed up with the spare parts he has
Mm-hmm.
for a little while, but if they were to run out, it's going to be difficult to find the parts necessary, because some of this stuff is going to be pre-tech spare parts.
Yeah.
And those things are expensive.
Yeah. I think I'll probably with that roll and with I'll start making notes as to like maybe things that are acceptable, like things that could work in a pinch, like things that will definitely be needed, so I can like start stocking up on things if I need to, or saving up for those really expensive, like at least have one spare part of each thing as things go on, and kind of like like pricing out the things just in case, like so I know if like a cat, if my cat gets sick, how much is it going to cost to take him into the vet?
So one of the nice things with this system is that they don't differentiate on parts. Parts are just parts. And so you can just have a pile of parts and you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like the actual
thematically,
like what you would actually have to be doing, you're on track. It's good. Let's we'll figure out exactly what kind of spare parts you got lying around later.
But as long as I have like one of each at this point, so I can fix them.
Yeah. And the other thing on like upgrades and stuff like that is going to be, that's something you can do with your fix. So you can maintain like a number of what do they call them in this system? Okay, yeah, you can maintain like a number of mods based on your fix score. Okay. And so he could theoretically be modded. It would kind of depend on what kind of mods you're looking to do.
I think at this point it is just like I want to get like an idea of how his systems work, so that like if we're getting into a situation where like, hey, we're gonna need a tank, like a literal tank, how can I do that? Like just getting used to his systems and that sort of thing, so that the next time I need to roll to like, hey, I want to add a turret on his back or something like that, I know how to do that sort of thing.
All right. The thing you will need access to is a workshop.
Okay.
It's like a tech level 4 workshop or better. That's something you can install on the ship. It's not on there right now. Yeah. But if you guys get a little money, you can do it. And there's going to be places that while you're on planet that you could like, rent for a day or something like that. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a pretty easygoing afternoon as you're examining Pleasantness. He's happy to converse about whatever's going on. And
yeah. Does he have any like wants or desires?
The big takeaway from it would probably be that he wants to see kind of like, the world, or, the sector.
Yeah. He wants to go on outings.
Yeah. He's been trapped in a building for 600 years.
Yeah. I get it.
So
absolutely. I think Neith is very much okay with doing that.
And what's everyone else up to?
I think Scarra's looking up like an all-terrain vehicle like that will fit in the ship, like a dune buggy. Like trying to figure out, like, because he's sick of walking everywhere. Anytime they land anywhere, he's like, oh God, we have to walk through the wilderness of God knows what planet. So he wants to look for an all-terrain vehicle that he can probably like either buy or go like trade or something. Just like he's just like space Google. Give me something good.
You get on space Google.
Spoogle.
I don't know about Spoogle. That sounds like
that sounds real gross. Yeah. Just gonna say that.
Stick with space Google.
Spoogle that.
So that would be probably an ATV Explorer model of vehicle that's going to cost you 15,000 credits.
Wow.
Currently, for the ship, have 8,200.
I just think it would be. How
Don't
many
use
seats
that
is that?
word. Don't
Uh-oh.
use that
Okay,
word.
I will not use that word. I don't know
Uh-oh.
what it means, but
What
I
did
won't
you
use
say
it.
now?
I will not.
Google
I will not
means?
say it again.
I'll send it individually. That's how bad it is.
Oh,
Wow,
God.
I am not going to
It's
use
a
that word
real
ever
thing?
again. I am terrible on time.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I just went to Urban Dictionary. That's
Why would you go to Urban Dictionary? That's worse.
Well, because that's where you're gonna get most slang
Yeah.
definitions.
Space Google.
Alright.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
an ATV, how many seats is that? In system.
Because if that's only gonna be like a one-person vehicle, that's
Not
probably
worth
too
it.
pricey.
If it's a four-seater, we probably won't be able to fit Erstwhile in. Unless it has
Oh,
but then again, it probably would be wanted to use to, I don't know, scout ahead or something.
there's a couple of meanings on Urban Dictionary. One of them is much worse than the other.
Yeah, okay, let's move on from that.
I like the not bad one though. It's a fun
I'm
use
not
of
I'm
it.
not looking it up just to know how badly I didn't mess up.
I mean,
That one is
Unless
to
unless somebody
inadvertently
sends it
call
to me,
up.
then I'll have to get rid of the notification and read it.
That one we can say. It's to inadvertently call up pornographic thumbnails when using Google in an inappropriate environment. Like if
so
you're doing
like if I were
like a
showing
meeting or
Chrome
something.
and
I
we're
was
googling it.
It's just me scrolling through Twitter. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm too curious now. I have to look it up.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I'm already doing it.
So,
Let's
figuring
move
out
on.
some vehicles that we could get on the ship, maybe. It seems like they're all going to be out of our price range at the moment, but
What do you guys got money wise?
8,200
Oh wait, I'm on the wrong.
in the net or
Oh yeah,
tip
yeah,
the
yeah.
scales
You
funding and inventory.
you could buy like a motorcycle that's like 5,000. You could spend most of your
It's
money on a
worth it,
motorcycle.
No.
Like one or two people can get on it. You can already fly.
Yeah, but motorcycles are cool. I mean,
It might
disregard the
be a
fact that most
hover
people
cycle. I
die
don't
when using
remember.
them, but
Yeah, I think the vehicle that would make the most sense would be like a little hover truck or something that could fit all four of us, plus hopefully some extras.
Yeah, the
let's get
ATV
a
Explorer
tank.
is exactly what you're
How
looking for.
many
A
people
tank
could
is going to be way more than that.
how many people could Pleasant carry in their arms?
I mean, probably at least two. Someone could ride on his back. But I mean, he's not going to be much faster than a person, right? Like,
No, but like
even if he's real fast for someone who runs, he's still like just a big robot.
I think Scarra will put that to the side and then make his way to the engines of this ship. Not really his expertise, but he's a pilot.
You
He knows
coming into
fuel.
my engines?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
What do you wish to do with these engines?
He wants to look at the fuel and he wants to know if he can possibly make the ship faster.
All right. That's going to require a fix roll.
It's not really his expertise, but no, it's not at all. I've got a -1 to fix.
Please roll it. I want to play this scene out.
Intelligence.
Yes, please.
4. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing down here, but I want to go faster.
Just from the shadows up above in the piping, you hear just, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the fuel. I want to see if we can add nitro to this beast.
There's like a sheen from Neith's face mask. Why don't you just ask me?
I mean, I didn't know if you were busy. You looked like you were working on Pleasant pretty hard there.
I'm not now.
Well, why don't you come down and help me?
Slither down the walls. She lands and she's not wearing her legs, so she's kind of just like on the ground, propped up on her arms with her like tail behind her.
Do you want me to go get your legs?
No, I quite enjoy being like this. What is it you're looking for, Captain?
I am not the captain. I think
Oh,
we are both aware of that, but I mean, I would gladly take the reins if, I had to, but I'm
you
not.
seem to want to.
I'm just looking
Down
at the
here
engines.
in my section.
Oh, I mean, I am the one flying the ship, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm the
technically,
one fixing it.
well, I'm just looking at the engines. I'm trying to see if we can make the ship go faster, which technically would go into my, motivator.
Yes. You pushing the button will definitely make the ship go faster.
Are you testing me right now?
Hold on. Click, click, click. Of course not. No. What are you thinking about doing for the engines to making them go faster?
Well, I was thinking of maybe, and then Scarra's going to definitely use some words that don't make any sense. He's like, well, I was thinking of removing the hydro converter and putting it in backwards and hoping that would re-rig the system to make it think wants to go faster than it does, and it pushes the fuel harder. It might cost a bit more, but I was thinking in the down run of things, if we have to run the cops or something, it will, make sense, and the ship will go faster and will escape.
There's a pause. You know what? That is a great idea, Scarra. Why don't I look into that while you go back to the cockpit?
Why don't I just, stick around and make sure that you know what you're doing? Because I've had so much experience with this kind of thing in the past. No wonder
She
he's crashed so many ships.
Crawling towards you. Do you not trust my expertise?
No, I trust you completely. I'm just, I have nothing much to do on this ship other than fly.
That is quite sad.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to find something to do. I fixed the engines.
Like, I could show you how it works.
Be my guest.
Wonderful. Please follow me. And don't touch anything.
Roger that.
So Alex,
I don't know why the happy voice is more intimidating than the supposedly scary voice.
As Neith convinces Scarra not to rub cheetah blood all over the engines, what are you up
to? So I think a part of it is he would ask the others about this first, but it's like, so can I try practicing my telepathy on you two, or are you worried that I'm gonna melt your brains?
I'm worried you're gonna read my mind, to be honest.
Well,
are you able
I don't
to do
know
that?
if you could read my mind. Perhaps in emotions and feelings, but not in words.
Why don't you try it on Neith first?
Okay.
Please interrogate my brain.
I take a step back.
Okay. And basically the intent here is to start building up that familiarity so that I can do that like instant action communication thing. The facile mind, contacting an ally who has practiced the process with the psychic for at least a week. So we're not going to be able to get it done now, but get this started. It means that I can open the contact with no effort at all. But so we'll start thinking about, I imagine this is probably during a meal or something, and just starts thinking towards Neith, and like his ears are probably like twitching a little bit, almost like antenna, but they're not quite that mobile, I guess. And like, we all know he's done this without this much concentration before, but his face is like totally scrunched up, and he's like fingers on the temples, and he's like, okay, think. And like, you probably get like him thinking that in your head first.
Uh, I think as you pierce into Neith's mind, you get a lot of like segmented thoughts as like sort of like chain thoughts. Like she's thinking about something that thinks it like she kind of like lends into the next thing, like, okay, I need to be doing this thing, and then like, oh, if I'm gonna be fixing up this in this way, I need X, Y, and Z. Like it's very like list and mechanical thoughts, and then as she starts to like hear your thoughts and her, she's like, this is strange. Like it's very like more relaxed in thought than it is like when she speaks, and it kind of like calms down as the connection is made, and she's just kind of like, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Is this your natural voice?
No, my natural voice is very scary.
Oh.
Well, this is my common voice, I guess.
Are they just like thinking this to each other? They're
We're
not,
just
not
like
saying
staring
anything
at
aloud.
each other.
Scarra's just like looking to the side, just like whatever.
They're just like tilting their heads at each other, basically.
Yep, and like
This
Teddy's
is
ears are
weird.
still twitching with the effort, probably.
I'd like to think during the middle of the scene, Scarra leaves and just comes back with like a bottle of like vodka or something, and it's just like Joe vodka.
Please. This is strangely intimate.
Yeah, I suppose that's true, and I've done a lot of intimate things. I hope this isn't too uncomfortable for you.
No, I cannot be intimate in the way that you are. At least, not from what I've read.
Well, I could give you a lesson sometime, and I mean that actually. Like, I have had clients with similar physiologies to yours, and could tell you about things that have happened. And like Teddy is realizing, like, oh no, and it's like getting a little bit flustered here, but is also trying to keep professional about it because like that is his job.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure for us is not derived from physical intimacy. At least my people. There is nothing that you could touch on me that will derive the same pleasure that I have seen from the documentaries that I have watched of humans and humanoids.
Oh, yes. Well, that's because humans are easy to please. I mean, they are far and away the easiest ones to
standing right
that
here
is what I've heard.
to work with. You're still not hearing any of this.
Yeah, I'd like to think that he's just sipping his drink, being like, I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
but I have never experienced true intimacy.
It's nice. And if you ever want to try, I'm happy to assist.
I do have some credit stored. Perhaps I will do this.
Oh, I mean, I suppose if you wanted to pay me, we could go that route, but it's just, I think it's a feeling that anyone who wants to experience should have the opportunity to. And if you haven't before, then it would be, you know, my privilege to help you.
Wonderful. I also have never experienced chocolate before in a way that couldn't kill me.
I would probably have to ask Erstwhile about that. I don't know about how chocolate interacts with your biology.
Right. Please do not go into my mind without asking.
Oh, right. Of course. It seemed like you were thinking that at me.
No, yes, no, I'm sorry. I did invite you in this time. I was just saying for the future.
Sure, yes. Though I do think that this could have great strategic benefit for missions later.
Of course.
But we will obviously discuss that ahead of time.
Yes, that would... Yes. Or if it needs an emergency. I'm just saying do not go into my thoughts when I am resting or thinking about other things. Don't worry about it.
Right, of course.
You see Neith start to slurp whatever it is they're eating right now. Like looks away.
Yeah, and I think Teddy takes that opportunity to take a drink and is like, no, of course, I would never violate privacy like that, but you gotta admit, it is pretty neat that we can keep talking even though our mouths are busy. It's just like taking a comically long drink as he, like, it's basically at this point like a ventriloquist.
Neith like looks at you, looks at her mask, looks at you. I was like, yes, very strange that could happen. I'm done with this now. Thank you.
Okay. And like comes out of it, shakes himself off, and it's like now out loud. And your brain's fine, it's not melting or anything. You have ears for it to leak out of?
They're not wearing their mask as they're eating, and they kind of just shake their head, like, and do a like webby hand thumbs up. Looks at Scarra and just goes.
Well,
continues to eat.
It's seems to be safe enough so far. Would take some getting used to.
Well, I'm sure the more practice you use, maybe you can meet up with. You're going to go to Psychics Anonymous, and yeah.
How much have you
already
had?
Too much fun.
I mean, I'm just bad at saying that word, but
those Psychics Anomalous could be another thing for anomalies.
I'm sure. Why not, right?
Well, all right. Oh, go ahead.
You can sure like look up stuff online on how psychics work. Maybe I've heard there's like an academy or something. Maybe it's worth looking into that.
Maybe.
You don't want to go psycho on us, right?
No, that would not be good. Because I'm pretty sure, well, certainly if there weren't any weapons, I would probably destroy you all.
One of the common things people say about humans is they fear the unknown. And that is very true. We do. We absolutely are terrified of the unknown. It's why I want you to learn more about this.
That's fair. But without going to school for it, I think the best way to learn is going to be to practice.
Well, just don't enter my brain without permission.
Right. No, of course, I would never. You do know that my main job is as a courtesan. It's all about consent, so you don't have to worry about that.
I'd give a nod.
Nod.
Well, I'm starved. I'm gonna get some food, and should we find out? I guess we could still waiting on that next contact for the counselor, but should we try and think about our next job beforehand?
Yeah, I suppose we'll need to make sure there's no follow-up we have to do with the diplomat, but might be worth, I'm trying to find the list. So there's still the rescue job, bounty job, which would take us out of system. Yeah,
but that's probably where pleasure wants to go, is out of system.
Because
do we have the ability to go out of system? Yep.
Yeah, you guys got enough money you could fuel up.
So yeah, the secret formula B&E I think is the main one that's still on planet. The rescue job would be the asteroid belt in this system, and then the bounty job would be going all the way out to a different system, but that one also pays the most. But so I think probably just spend some time after that. It's like, well, okay, so if we do the secret formula one, based on what happened with the apartment complex, and like, I think
I'm afraid we'll get more heat on us than we want. Heat being, police or enforcements. I think we should leave this planet. maybe bad wording, but I think we should try and be careful on this planet from now on because we've done 2 jobs here, and both of them have been pretty intensive, I guess. I mean, one of them, the first one, didn't exactly go as planned. The second one went to plan, but just by the skin of our back, or I guess in your case, Ted, or I guess in anybody's cases, it really only works for me, I guess. that phrase. It's a phrase, whatever. You get what I mean.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we should probably do something off this planet. Maybe not out of system, but we could go out of system. I mean, I'm inclined for it, but
Neith places
whatever
her
we
mask
think
back
we're
on.
prepared for.
Begins to fill it.
Like a refueling gas can, just like.
Yeah, puts the water in it. As it begins to fill, I think getting out of the system would be fun.
I concur.
All right,
Captain Teddy.
well, we'll see what jobs Anna Molly still has available for us, because she did warn us she wasn't going to just hold on to all of them for us.
Somebody else might have grabbed them, but new jobs may have come in. Who knows?
Yep.
Are we still parked, or have we flown back to the city?
So yeah, you made it back to the city.
Okay. And what time of day is it?
What time of day do you want it to be?
Probably closer to nighttime, so we can actually go to Animali.
Okay.
We do
Sure.
have her contact, I guess. We could just call her.
Yeah, she was gonna call us when the meeting with the diplomat is ready.
Do we want to call? Sorry. Do we want to call her now, or do we want to go meet up with her in person? About new jobs, or do we want to wait until after the diplomat?
Probably wait until after the diplomat, because we need to be ready to meet when they're ready, and we don't want to be caught on another job at that
Right.
time.
And I'm going to just estimate. So, do you think my clothes are appropriate to meet the diplomat, or should I go get something fancy?
It depends. Given how this meeting is being arranged, I imagine it will be a more casual affair. So, looking professional is probably the way to go. Rather than actually fancy. And, Teddy would go on to describe actual appropriate attire based on his experience with various dignitaries.
One thing.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing with you would probably know with New Soul is that kind of the nightlife culture is heavily tied in to the work culture kind of thing. Like a lot of people will leave work and go straight to a bar or a club or something like that. So seeing people out in business professional is very common. So it's kind of a good, that's a decent default disguise. Other than that, it's going to really depend on where you're at in terms of high fashion or casual wear and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sure what I have is fine.
I do not wear clothing.
Well, that's a cultural thing. They should respect that.
Yes, a cultural thing.
I'm just bullshitting. I have no idea about your culture. I just know you. And from what I've known, you don't wear clothes, so that's fine.
Maybe Neith's just a nudist.
This is a fact.
I mean, maybe your legs count as clothes, but I'm not sure.
We could put pants on the clothes or on the on the legs.
There's certainly accessories.
That sounds restrictive.
Yeah, that's why I normally wear loose clothes around my legs. I mean, it's not exactly like all of my legs are robot. It's only knee down, so I still need to wear pants.
Correct. And you still have genitalia.
As far as I'm aware, yep.
I was gonna say a massive dick.
Well, Hmm.
I'm tired, y'all. All right.
Bevved up LB, love it.
Sorry. Good. Let us get ready for the dignitary.
All right. So you get a call from Animali, and she's gonna let again through this translation VI that is on the calls with her, that the diplomat is set to meet you for lunch tomorrow. He's kind of got it scheduled as meeting with a potential um, you know basically he's gonna offer you a job, is kind of how he's got it set up, and it'll cover him paying you, $10,000 is, I believe, 10,000 credits.
I think so. Let me.
Note taker Alex. Fact check.
Yep. Yes, 10,000.
All right.
Oh no, I think it was 100,000 actually. Just remembering.
Man, aren't you going to be mad when he only pays you 10,000?
Damn.
He stiffed us.
100,000 would be enough for Dune ATVs for all of us. We could all have one.
Be a lot of cargo space taken up.
At least we'd all have rides.
All right.
Cargo doesn't space. Ship goes space. That joke always makes me laugh. I will not apologize.
I need to save that in my brain for next week for my other space game.
You make me sad.
It's the thing of like people are in a car dealership and one person's asking about cargo space and the other person's like, no, cargo road.
I'm too tired. My brain is just like, Why is this my humor?
You do get the restaurant details, and it's a nicer one. There's a bit of a dress code.
Well, then I think probably the rest of the evening is spent trying to find fancy attire that will be, cheap enough, but also good enough that we could reuse it for future things. Teddy is probably going to start building out a wardrobe for, well, I guess it's mostly him and Scarra.
I mean,
the others don't wear clothes.
Yeah, true. Scarra does look nice how he is. Like he's not like his clothes aren't dirty. He always keeps them clean.
Well, yeah, but there's still a difference between like wearing clean jeans and a leather jacket and going to like a steakhouse.
True, he is wearing a leather jacket. That's true. I always forget his leather.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things that's it's suit and tie, kind of. You gotta have
tie
the jacket.
Event? I'll get like a black shirt, a black button up shirt, roll up the sleeves, and put a red tie on.
All right.
He probably won't go for a jacket if he's rolling up the sleeves.
I just had the image of Teddy probably has the. It's like that meme of Bugs Bunny with the "I wish all blank a very blank." It's just Bugs in a tuxedo.
Scarra's trying to go for that like cool dad look of wearing a suit. I would like to think. Like has right. Like he probably has the jacket, but mostly has it over his shoulder most of the time.
And are you all going for just regular clothes, or do you want them to double his armor and get
I mean,
armor clothing.
I'm still wearing my Under Armour stuff. Like that's like I have what's it called on my sheet? I always forget. Armored undersuit. I'm always wearing that unless I have to take it off to clean it. I'd like to think that Scarra's wardrobe is just like coat racks of just the same clothing. It's just like if he ever needs to change, she's like, oh, this has got a tint of maroon in the jacket.
But
I
so
wear that. Be different.
we could conceivably get secure clothing that is fancy, is the question.
Yeah.
How much
Would it be higher than a 13 AC?
It's
Okay.
a 13 AC exactly, but it's a 300 credits for secure clothing.
I will not wear it because I already have armored undersuit, and I think that would fit underneath the clothing. Because that's what I normally wear underneath my clothing anyways.
That's a David call. I only have secure clothing and woven body armor, so I probably need to get myself some fancy secure clothing. Which I may pull from party funds because I know we haven't split up party funds to each of us yet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So I think I'll need to pull 200 from party funds and 100 of my own. That leaves us with an even 8,000 credits in the party funds.
Right. I'm fine with spending that for this little gathering.
And if you're Scar, if you're just buying like, suit and stuff, we'll put that at 100 credits.
So that's fine. I will have to take from the party fund to do that because I only have 60 credits. If that's all right.
Yep.
So should I take all of the 100 out, or should I just spend 40 from the thing and then have 0 credits on me?
I mean, I left myself with 50 credits. It's up to you, and we should be getting paid soon.
Yeah,
true.
I don't care.
I'll just take the 100 out of the. I like having money on me just in case. So I'll take the 100 out of the party fund. So that leaves us at 700. 700, right? No, wait, 7,900, right? For party fund.
Yeah.
If you're taking 100 out, yep.
Yeah. I'll change the thing.
All right.
There we go.
And Neith, are you going to do anything about dress code, or do you want to stay behind? Or
are you gonna get a top hat?
I think Neith thinks about it, looks at some stuff, and then they're just like, I'm good. Maybe they'll probably do a good scrubby dub in the bath and shine up their scales. Maybe put a little glitter on, but that's about it. A little highlight, Really bring out the shine of those scales.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, on the way to the lunch meeting, you're kind of walking along and you hear down kind of an alleyway a little bit the clear sounds of a fight going on, which is a little unusual. You haven't seen anything like that here before,
especially for the middle of the day.
And you kind of glance over and you see it's like 3 guys fighting a dude in white robes. He's got his hands clasped together, and you see he has like a armor on his forearms. You see that he has a sword on his back and a pistol on his hip. Um, Alex, Teddy, you would probably recognize this person for what he is, the guy in the white robe. Um, he is uh, he's a follower of the Nine Paths. Specifically, the white robe indicates that he follows the path of honesty. It's You're not 100% sure like where this religion is. It's not headquartered out of any of the planets in your little cluster here, but it's relatively close by, and some kind of missionaries, some evangelical people from the religion make their way to these planets, to your planets now and again. They call themselves trailblazers, and uh, yeah, they can be a bit, uh, you know, disruptive with people. They can pursue their evangelical stuff a little bit much, um, and those that follow the path of honesty can definitely make people mad.
Okay, so does it seem like the the group are the aggressors, or that this guy is? I mean, it based on how you describe him, it sounds like he's taking a defensive stance.
So the hands, that's a part of their religion. They don't. They always leave their hands touching each other in
I
some
just thought
way.
he was praying, to be honest.
It's as a sign of supplication to their gods, their nine gods, who are dead, and they hope that will come back one day.
Okay. So why does he have a sword and a pistol if he can't make use of them with his hands always touching each other?
Maybe he has cybernetics do it for him. But then again, why wouldn't he be using them right now to defend himself?
Or maybe we're about
Or
to see him do some
maybe
telekinetic.
maybe he pulls them from his back like this. Who knows? I would just kind of like stop for a second, look over, and then keep walking. Not my business. I don't need to get myself involved unless Scarra is stopped by either of the two.
I mean, I think Teddy is going to just call out down the alley of like just starting with just a hey and see how they react to any of that.
All right, he's trying to sound intimidating.
A little, mostly just to get attention and again to see just how all the participants react. Like, are the three people gonna be like, oh shit, someone sees us, we need to leave, or do they not care and they're gonna keep trying to beat on him?
Okay. So yeah, I guess. Do you want to roll anything for this, or do you just want to see how they would
Mm,
react without a roll?
let's see. I guess I could. Yeah, we'll start with seeing how they react without a roll, and then from there we'll see how what interventions are needed.
All right. Um, One of them kind of like looks towards you, kind of surprised, and I think another one kind of runs off, and one's kind of standing there. Uh, the the trailblazer kind of takes this opportunity to trip up the guy who looks away, and he throws an elbow at the guy who's still fighting him. And you see now why he didn't have any weapons drawn, as they were kind of harassing him too much. As he goes, keeping his hands touching, grabs the sword and pulls it out.
I was right.
And now they're kind of like backing off a little bit. And he takes a sword swing at one of the guys. It's gonna. Oh, dear. Funny because this is combat. Oh, he hits. Okay.
Always David rolling the highest on everything.
Let him do it now, okay?
I think as I hear commotion and Teddy going down, I probably stop and turn around and just see what's happening.
I was a dummy and didn't look up weapons before this, even though it's just on equipment pages.
That happens.
Okay, it's a D8. He's got a medium weapon. Okay. Okay. He kind of comes in. He knocked a guy off balance, right?
Yep.
And he pulls the sword, and the guy who's fighting him, who wasn't knocked off balance, kind of like gives him a little bit of a space, and then he with the sword stabs the guy he tripped up in the back, and just pulls the sword down. And then you see this guy kind of like fall to the ground, not moving.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out, just based on what you've told us so far, I'm not sure whether or not we should be, because it does seem like the others were harassing the Trailblazer, but now it's like, has the Trailblazer gone too far? I'm wondering if I'm.
Are they dead? Are they just unconscious? The guy on the ground.
You can't tell from here. He's like a solid 20 feet down this alleyway.
Yeah, I guess I feel like I am lacking enough in universe context to know whether we should be involving ourselves more and on which side we should be involving ourselves with at this point.
Okay. It's hard to know. You don't know much more about the religion beyond that. The Trailblazers tend to be, trained fighters of some kind. It's not unusual for them to carry weapons. I'll say you probably know that. He's not allowed to be carrying these weapons in the city.
Yeah, not even we're allowed to do that.
And he's open carrying them, so that's bad. He probably shouldn't have killed this guy. Doesn't look like they were necessarily trying to kill him. Mm-hmm. I would say it looks like probably these guys were the aggressors.
Okay.
I think at this point, Neith, if Neith has noticed this, she is going to just move in, and I think try to separate the two groups. The dude and just to like stop doing what you're doing. Basically.
I'm gonna go in his backup just in case this guy decides to stab Neith.
Yep, Eddie is following.
Yeah. So Neith kind of like robot Terminator runs in a little bit and just kind of like shoves people out of the way, I guess is the best thing.
All right. With the distance and kind of the shove, the other guy who was, attacking the Trailblazer kind of takes the opportunity to use you as a shield and just runs away.
Well, Teddy
would run into me. Yeah,
Teddy would position himself to keep him from running.
Okay, so he's gonna get to you. Like he's gonna kind of run. You guys are coming up behind. You stop him. Uh, and the Trailblazer kind of looks to you, Teddy, and says, "If you don't let him leave, I have to kill him."
Okay, why do you have to kill him?
I told them I would.
And why did you tell them that? What happened?
They mugged me, or tried to.
Looking at the guy.
He's like, "Yeah, yeah, dude's effing crazy."
Do I know this religion?
So probably no. They're relatively obscure. They're kind of like are you may have seen one of these people around in the robes before, but you probably don't know much about it.
I probably just like shrugged and be like, yeah, people have their own fashion kind of thing.
Yeah, he's from a world you've never been to. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean, you can roll a no if you want to
Yeah,
know about it.
sure. I've done a lot of reading in the past. Maybe I know of this. If I don't, that's fine. But
Same
no,
on you, Teddy. If you want to know more about it, you can roll a no. This is what you get for free.
7.
I'd say you probably know similar to what I've discussed.
Probably, I'd say I've mildly heard of them, maybe like in passing, like
Yeah.
truthful people, but like kind of religious nuts. I think that's probably the about what Scarra has heard from other people.
I think Teddy. I know they're the same DC area, but you get kind of a heads up because your background kind of gives you a more of a start. I think you would know that the religion itself is not always violent, but you know that the different sects tend to be extremely violent with each other.
Hmm.
I'm gonna
And
look to Teddy and just be like, I probably recommend you step aside unless you want more blood on the ground.
I would like to try and quickly read the potential mugger's mind to see what happened there. So I guess up to psychic's awareness of the target's surface cognition is sophisticated enough to read their current thoughts. So it can't pick up memories or non-obvious connections. The target gets a mental saving throw to resist this. So gonna try and see, did he actually try and mug the Trailblazer?
Yeah. He's like, damn, never should have tried to mug this guy. Kim's dead. Got it's like a mile a minute. Like, gotta get out of here.
Oh gosh.
He just, he saw that, you kind of get the impression these guys are kind of some young punks, and they saw the gun, and they're like, let's take this guy's gun.
Mm-hmm. I think in that case, Teddy is gonna try and punch the mugger with the intent to like knock him out.
I'm pretty sure the Trailblazer will still kill him, even if he's unconscious.
Possibly, but it'll be a less traumatic death. But
okay,
Teddy,
aren't you the straight-laced one?
What
happened?
Teddy is hoping that by knocking the mugger out, we'll be able to take a chance to talk the Trailblazer down. So that is the thought process here. So let me roll a punch.
Think with your fists, not with your brain.
All right.
That is a 10. So I guess, should I forget
which
thing
should
I need
roll
to
an
click?
attack. Yeah.
22.
That hits for 8 damage. You were specifically trying not to kill him, so he's not dead.
Yep.
But he is unconscious.
Yeah, and so we'll just kind of like let him fall limply and like kick him to the side of the alley, and turning to the Trailblazers like, okay, yes, they tried to mug you. That doesn't mean they have to die for it.
No, that doesn't mean they have to die for it. I did tell them I was going to kill them for it, so now I have to.
Okay, but consider this. You already killed that one.
Mhm.
That should fulfill your promise to them.
To him that I killed, yes.
Did you specifically tell each one of them you were going to kill them individually?
I said I was going to kill them for this.
That could
This
apply to
sounds
one
like
person, though.
semantics. Perhaps we should not argue them. What is
I mean,
your
you could
name,
also-
traveler?
I have given up my name on my pilgrimage and simply go by the name of my god, Diego. The entire time, by the way,
Hola,
he's speaking in
Diego.
Spanish, and he has like a translation thing that's just translating to.
Is it less lazy?
Yeah,
Hola,
this one's
soy
good.
Dora.
I mean, your killing them could not specifically mean killing them physically. You could kill them financially. I mean, like.
I am afraid I walk the path of honesty. I cannot lie.
I mean, that's not lying. It's just semantics. I don't like personally lie myself, so
To be misleading.
I mean, if I said
Correct.
I was going to kill it, this is a hypothetical, by the way. I'm not going to actually do this. Just are hypotheticals in your religion? I'm not sure. Can you speak in hypothetical, or
Of
do you
course,
take
I
that
can
police
speak
seriously?
in hypotheticals.
Okay, just making sure. I don't know what I'm working with here. So let's say in a hypothetical situation, I said, I'm going to kill you. And then I go and ruin your career. I've killed you financially.
No,
you see what I'm saying?
I am alive.
Yes, you are alive, but you're poor.
And you did not say, I will make you poor.
But I have killed your financial life. Your career is in ruins.
That you are not taking my religious devotion very seriously right now. And I understand that you are trying to save this man's life, a commendable goal. As I agree, there is no pressing need to kill this young man. And in fact, it would likely serve justice that he were to live. However, I do not walk the path of justice.
Does your killing them apply instantly, or can you be like, okay, I'll kill you in 10 years?
I can kill him in 10 years. It's fine, but he's right there unconscious. It would be very poor of me not to kill him while I could. So perhaps.
Or maybe you could lead them down a life of honesty, like taking him in as your apprentice, and then at the end of his life,
kill him later
while
on?
he's dying.
That seems needlessly cruel.
You see Neith roll her eyes, and then she just takes out her pistol and shoots the guy on the ground.
Oh.
But no, well,
why didn't you just let me kill him if you're going to?
He didn't kill them, though, so he's not let up of his honesty. You've killed them.
I was tired of this conversation.
Very well. And you see he kind of presses something on the sword and it kind of like vibrates and heats up and the blood kind of steams off of it before he then sheaths it.
That is awesome. Sorry, I know I was just trying to convince you not to kill that guy. Well, technically kill him in the future, but that sword, what is that sword?
It is the traditional sword of my order.
So they don't just sell them on like a space Costco?
I'm sure you could find one. The technology exists.
It is bitching.
That is certainly a word for it.
My order is not particularly technologically advanced. I don't follow the path of prudence. So.
Prudence. Who is Prudence?
The path of prudence?
Yes.
It is one of the 9 paths. One of the 9 virtues.
Are they real paths?
They are symbolic. They
see.
are real paths as well on my world. But
I'm sure there would be, because a world without roads sounds like it sounds kind of dreadful. Sorry, that was my bad attempt at a joke.
However, I suggest we likely need to move away from this area, as we have killed 2 young men.
I didn't do anything.
Yes.
Let us take a walk, Diego.
You might want to hide your weapons better. I understand that it may go.
I cannot hide them.
Well, it's hiding them doesn't necessarily mean you are being dishonest about them. It's more about that you should. The authorities in the city, I'm surprised that they did not stop you. And like as we are starting to move away having this conversation, but I'm surprised they did not stop you as open carry of weapons is not permitted in the city.
Because I have been granted religious exception. And he does kind of like go, I should thank you, however, for intervening. And he kind of like bows off to the side, and there's like an elbow up. And as he bows, his hands kind of move from this to like this, where like his two fingers are barely touching each other before he goes back into a thing.
You know, I've seen your people around town before. I mean, the people in white robes and weapons and all that. I've never actually spoken to one of you. Sorry, you're. I'm not going to lie. You know, your reputation isn't great. But I'm sure you already know that. I just thought
Yes.
I'd let you know. What is your what are you pilgrimaging for? What is the plural for that word? Whatever. What are you currently looking for of your honesty path?
I look to better exemplify the virtue of honesty.
And what does that
hopes
exactly
that
mean?
I walk the path of honesty and wish to lead others along it as well, trailblazing the path ahead.
And I don't mean to disrespect you by saying this, but I mean, the path of honesty is great, you know, but also killing people is not exactly a great way of convincing people to join your sect.
I was not trying to convince them to join my sect.
Yeah, but it doesn't give off a good reputation to those who might want to. Be like, oh, we could join the Trailblazers, but they also did kill 3 guys.
Did we not kill people not more than 2 weeks ago?
I didn't kill anybody.
I don't. This is out of game. Trying to remember. I don't think
We
we
haven't
killed
killed
actual.
You killed like
No.
some wolves.
Yeah, we killed wolves, but I didn't land any of the killing blows.
We're definitely
I'm
considering
clean of blood.
killing the people who came into the
We did.
We considered
I
it, but
also-
we didn't do it.
Yeah, I was trying to convince you guys not to do that.
We were preparing for that eventuality, which did not come to pass.
Perhaps we should not judge others in this way. It is not our choice to say what they should do.
Well, I suppose I have one question for you. Are you now obligated to turn yourself in, or only if
course
you
not.
are accosted?
Do you mean, am I allowed to hide from my crimes?
Yes, but if they catch you, you then have to tell them that you did it.
I wouldn't lie about doing it.
But you also wouldn't confine yourself in prison because it would disrupt your path.
Yes.
Fair enough. I wouldn't want to be in jail either.
I'm not a true exemplar of honesty. I do still have secrets.
I mean, of course.
That's part of walking the path.
That's what I was about to say. You haven't finished your path, therefore, high order, I guess. Religion's difficult to say. But again, no disrespect. I'm just gonna look at the time. How much time do we have till our meeting?
It's coming up. You guys left with some time in case you got lost or something like that.
Or in case we go into a fight.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I think it is like, well, okay. I wish that there hadn't been any death, but I think we just have to accept the outcome that happened, and we have business to attend to, and so we will let you get back to your business.
And may our paths cross in more favorable light.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I do truly thank you. You did save a young man's life in your intervention.
Yes, we
Can I
did
have this
good
person as my
today.
henchman?
All of us.
You still have your henchmen already.
I don't. They're gone. I mean, technically, Seth and Brogan. Yeah, that was their names. Hey, look at that! I remembered after a month.
Hmm.
The last time I saw them, they were camping out the. I think I let them go. Is the thing.
So
I can always pick them
he
back up, but like
he is a skilled henchman. So you will need
we
to
pay
do like a
him.
favor or something
Hmm.
like that. I think it outlines what you need to do to get a skilled henchman.
I don't think I'm high enough level for that.
Oh, do you need rank two
I
in
think
it?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, because this guy can't. I mean, yeah, I need rank two, so that's what probably what I'll level up next time I do.
All right.
Because
Um,
having useful help henchman is good.
he does ask if
You
you're. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was about to say, do you have contact info? But I think that's what you
Oh,
were about to say.
yeah. He was about to kind of lead into that. See if you were staying on if you were staying on the planet or not.
We are yet to see that. Untrue.
Interesting.
We are looking for a new mission.
Oh, wonderful. Um, I have nothing I would need to employ others on at the moment,
You look
but
fairly capable.
yes, I will be here for some time before I move on. But if I need help, if I need to employ you in some way, or if I wish to repay you for
Oh,
this service you have done today?
I guess I go into my jacket into my shirt pocket and pull out a business card of the ship and hand it to him.
Yeah,
All right.
I,
He
we give him the tip the scales contact information.
Okay.
Yeah.
He kind of reaches out and grabs it and scans it to his little translator thing that's on his robe. It looks like that's probably his comm in some fashion, and then hands you back the card.
Is the card is just a big old QR code.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Space
Thank you.
QR code. It's just an R code in the future.
I hope our paths cross again.
I give a nod to him and probably fast walk probably now because I don't want to be late to this meeting.
All
Goodbye,
right.
Diego. It was a pleasure.
I did not get your names.
You may call me Neith.
I'm Teddy.
Scarra, just like down the road, he puts up his hands, just like yells his name.
It's been a pleasant surprise to meet you in this way. Thank you.
A wave. Hustles. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Moving their arms is probably not helpful, but it's fun for the motion.
You're just trying to like make it look right. So you're like,
You
well, I
can't
gotta
see
move
my
my
legs, okay?
arms.
This is all I got.
Yeah.
All right. You make it to the restaurant. It's a nice lunch restaurant kind of thing. It's got like the big glass open window kind of thing. There's a lot of daylight coming in. I think you will all be allowed in. At, at the very least, Teddy and Scar make it in, no problem. You might take some convincing to get Neith let in, but not so much that I'm going to make anyone roll for it. And yeah, I think we'll pick up with the meeting after the break. Seems like a good enough spot for a break.
Yep. All right, so we are gonna take a quick break here, 5 to 15 minutes, because we should all walk the path of the honest with respect to our break times and how they tend to go a bit long. But so we are gonna refresh ourselves. You should do the same, and we'll be back real soon. Hello, internet, we're back, and I just made them listen to a terrible tweet. So
I found it hilarious.
Yeah. But we are back. We are mostly refreshed, and we're ready to have a fancy lunch.
All right. So yeah, you kind of get led to your table. You see kind of a elderly looking um fellow. Kind of looks like, he's Greek kind of thing. He's from Minerva. He is wearing kind of it looks sort of like ancient Roman like Senate robes, like not quite just like a toga, but a little bit fancier and stuff like that. He's got sandals on, and he's wearing like a nice kind of like gold and jeweled like kind of headband kind of thing that's like rests on his ears. It's not like the leaves, it's not straight up Caesar, but it's kind of an intricate looking design. And he kind of stands, and you see, kind of gold and finery on his person. The robes kind of go mostly to the ground. You see the sandals on his feet kind of sticking out underneath, and he waves for you all to come join him for lunch.
I know you were talking before, but what is this guy's name? I assume we would have been told that by now.
Okay, yes. So, his name is Gaius Silvius.
And
what a name.
his title would be diplomat, senator,
ambassador.
Ambassador. Because Teddy would, of course, be brushed up on all the proper protocols for this.
You probably have heard of this guy. Like, he's a pretty important ambassador from Minerva to New Seoul, and they're neighbors. So having you know they tend to put some important people in charge of those relationships.
Mm-hmm. And so would approach, give whatever the customary bow or whatever it is, and saying, "Greetings, Ambassador Silvius. We are here to discuss the potential job that you have inquired about."
Absolutely. Sit down. So I've talked a little bit to the broker, and my understanding is correct that 10,000 is enough.
Yes, that is the agreed upon price.
All right. Wonderful. Well, I have some things I would like delivered to my estate in Rome. If you would be able to do that, I'd be willing to pay you upfront the 10,000, and my estate would pay you an additional bonus upon delivery of the items.
Just kind of quickly glancing at the others to see if they have any reason to object to this. And is there anything that we know that like this would be altering the terms of the agreement beyond what they should?
No, you didn't necessarily think he was going to take you off planet with the job, but you knew he was going to give you a job to cover for doing this job.
Mm-hmm.
And may I ask what it is we will be delivering you?
Just some small knickknacks that I have gathered at my time here. Some wine, some furniture, things like that that I no longer have room for, but in my apartments provided here, and would like them. Well, I would like to keep them.
Of course, of course.
Well, I certainly think that arrangements can be made. Um, and so, based on the vibe so far, we're not handing off the compad right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll like hand over or like pull out our company compad and be like, this is the details of our docking space for arranging, transport of whatever goods he may have. And I think just for funsies, I'm gonna do like the surf. Well, I guess I keep forgetting that when I do the telepathic contact, I get the highest level I can, and it's just whether or not they make the mental saving throw. And because this isn't like some D&D spells where it's like they know that you attempted to read their mind or things like that.
Thank God.
Yep. And so going to attempt the contact. So for free, I get emotional states. Yeah, the next level is being able to communicate even if we don't share a language. And then the highest level I get where they make the mental saving throw is I get their surface thoughts. So emotional state for free, surface thoughts if they fail the save.
Okay. All right, he fails to save.
Okay, so just trying to get a sense, like, is there anything underhanded about this new setup, or is it just like, yeah, he is going to send some additional knickknacks with us to help cover delivering the compad back?
Yeah, so I think kind of what you end up gleaning from this is that he's going to send some knickknacks that you will have to, deliver. But that the handoff of the compad will be while the stuff's being loaded onto your ship.
Okay.
So he'll take the compad then,
Gotcha.
where you will then be paid. And that's kind of how he's envisioning what's going on.
Okay. So he gives us the 10K, we meet his people at the ship, we hand off the compad there, and then we take the cover furniture to Rome for some kind of bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just want to ask Ambassador Silvius, if we do, and we are going to take this job, obviously, when we do, we won't get stopped at customs or anything with any of these items, right?
Just I mean,
sure.
you'll have to file docking and procedures and all those things with the Minervan government, but you'll have papers from me and things of that nature. You should be fine.
Of course.
They may randomly inspect the ship, but as long as there's nothing illegal on board, I think you will be fine.
I'll just give a slight nod. Scarra's in business mode.
Yeah, I'm not sending anything that would get you stopped at customs.
Right.
No fruit or anything.
Yes, we do have to be wary of invasive species.
You do have plenty of fruit on Rome, from what I've heard.
Oh, yes. It's beautiful there. Have you never been?
A planet or a city?
It's a city on Minerva.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's
and
the capital of Minerva.
I have not been to Rome.
Oh, well, you'll have to take some time to enjoy it then.
I'm sure we will after we get the job done.
Right. Well, if there are other details to discuss, we are happy to continue. Otherwise, I'm imagining that like food has been orders have been taken and stuff.
You probably like casually chatted for a few minutes,
ordered
it's
some
rude to talk about business right away.
Yeah.
Got some food, and about halfway through lunch got to this stuff.
Got to the meat of the conversation.
Yeah.
As we digged into the meat of the conversation.
And so I imagine for, after the business is concluded, Teddy will start sharing some of his exploits. Probably doesn't go with the, barbecue sauce on his titties stories like he did with the back on Pangea, but has some more tasteful, and like probably, maybe has had a client who is an associate of the ambassadors at one point.
Okay. Yeah, roll me a connect.
And do that's an 11.
Oh yeah, you are familiar with a very close friend of his. Maybe someone else that's like of the in the kind of the. I mean, so kind of up to you. It's close enough friend. I'll say, the nature of the friendship. Up to you on.
Yeah, I mean, probably accompanied them for a gala or something at one point. And so we'll just, politely inquire, what's the latest with them, and I think what am I trying to say? Impressing and surprising Gaius with like the level of competency that we are bringing with that connection, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. So this acquaintance of his, is it like a fellow diplomat? Is it someone he knows back on Minerva?
Yeah, probably another diplomat. Probably someone who's not quite as high ranking as him, given that it would have been somewhere farther away from Minerva that Teddy interacted with them. But
you think it's another Minervan diplomat? He probably knows a lot of diplomats, a lot of people involved in politics.
I'll roll a D2. 1, it's another Minervan diplomat. 2, it's another ambassador of some kind. Okay, so another Minervan diplomat.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they are. So Minerva, their whole society is broken into universities, and people are basically citizens of universities.
Okay.
And so maybe it's someone who was like maybe an upperclassman of his or something, but then hasn't like reached the same heights.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that kind of thing of like he respects him, but also he outranks him.
Yep.
Because 11 is very good. So yeah, or her. I just keep saying him, but
yep. I don't have anything more specific than that. Just Teddy
you share
schmoozing.
stories. You share stories about this individual for a minute, but yeah, the schmoozing works pretty well. Gaius Silvius is clearly impressed and is legitimately enjoying the conversation. Especially as you can read his surface thoughts and his emotional state, so you know it to be true.
Yeah.
He's not lying.
Yep, and Teddy is a good enough conversationalist that he would find ways to bring Scarra and Neith in as they want, but probably picks up whether or not they want to engage or not.
Yeah, Neith is like physically eating, and as they're doing it, they're like smile.
As long as more drinkers are coming to the table, Scarra's happy to talk to this guy. But
all right,
very business and orientated, making sure it doesn't slip up.
All right, how drunk is Scarra getting?
He's more like sipping at the wine. He's not actually properly drinking it. He definitely has like kind of like thought process of like, okay, no, need to make sure I don't mess up here. But
I think probably go ahead.
It's like, since this person's not from here, he's definitely being very friendly, trying to like be like, oh, this guy might be a useful contact in the future, kind of thing. It'll be nice to have more jobs from him if he's paying 10,000, kind of thing. So he wants to make sure that this guy thinks that Scarra is reliable and friendly.
Yep. Plus, we do kind of have dirt on this guy, given the job that we are doing for him.
So, just want to make sure that he just like, oh, this crew is reliable, therefore I might hire them again in the future, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you've already kind of proven once he gets the data pad back, he'll know you're reliable.
Mm.
And I suppose if you make it to his estate in Rome with the stuff he gives you for the bonus, he'll know you're reliable. But Teddy, you can tell also he probably doesn't care too much about whether or not the stuff actually makes it there. This is just a cover. He's like mentally writing it off, like you guys might just peace out and do your own thing.
Yep. So he's giving us the crappy furniture that would be nice to have back in Rome, but doesn't need to get back there.
Yeah, there's a reason it's not the furniture he's using right now at his apartment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that, the lunch goes well, and yeah, you part on good terms.
Okay, well, that was literally as they're saying goodbye, Scarra turns away, downs his drink, and then just puts it back down on the table. Just he doesn't like wasting stuff,
Hmm. I think probably there was like, he probably had like a bunch of different courses come out, and they're like smaller courses. With each one, there's like those small glass wine. You know what I'm talking about? It's like maybe like a couple of shots worth, and that you sip on, and
Well, look, if they're parents, I'm getting my, I'm getting good out of it, right? For expensive stuff, you don't get that kind of stuff very often, so.
Yeah, and obviously, Ambassador Silvius paid for the meal, so he's got a nice meal out of the deal.
Yep,
meal deal, some might say. £3.55.
All right, so yeah, where to now?
And I guess back to our ship so we can be ready
change.
to change and finish this transaction.
We can start delivering this cargo to Rome.
Yeah, I suppose as we wait for them to arrive, we can confer. But Teddy is thinking now would be a good time to reach out to Anna Molly, see what jobs are still available, and let her know like we're gonna leave the system, go to Rome, and then we'll be back. And so,
should we give her a call, or do we want to drop by her place? I mean, it's probably late enough at this point.
I mean, I'm imagining it's still daylight hours, and so she is probably not in
He's a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
He did just like, as soon as he left, he's like, drink
okay.
the
Scarra, we're going to have to teach you a little bit more about how to have a fancy dinner, but that was...
I know plenty. I mean, like, did you see me in there? I was very reserved for what I normally am.
Yes, but also normally you don't just down everything right at the end.
I mean, they were just going to take it away, and that's kind of a waste, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of what you do with the rich folk like that.
It's such a waste, though.
It is, but they like to show off that they can do that.
Yeah, I'll just buy 100 credit worth of wine and then not drink it for no reason. I like to just show off the bottle.
Yeah.
Really?
You're thinking like a rich person.
Oh my goodness. Takes out a flask, just has coffee in it.
Waste not, want not. That is what I was told.
Yep, and it's the more sensible way of doing it, but rich folk ain't sensible.
I'm starting to get that. I mean, did you see how much gold he was wearing? I believe that was fake, to be honest. Unless it wasn't. I mean, gold is heavy.
Gold is light.
It was gold plated.
Depending on where you're from.
So, he is a high enough ranking diplomat that it was probably real. Or as real as things are at this point in time. Maybe it's all synthetic gems and stuff.
The other thing on it is stuff like gold and like gems and stuff aren't as valuable now that people have space flight and they can mine stuff from
This is probably
asteroids
like the
and
novelty
stuff.
of it, of
Yeah.
having gold on him. With the guy who is last name Silvius, I would have thought he was wearing a silver, to be honest. I mean, he is
Well,
a silver.
I think his name means more to do with the woods, based on my understanding of Latin.
Yeah, I mean, silver uh does mean jungle slash forest. I would know I had a D&D character named Silva. But I mean, I'm not sure exactly what Sylvius means. I mean, maybe it's a plural. But that's besides the point. What stays the point is, wow, when was the two of you?
Okay, Scar, we need to get you back and get you some water.
Hmm.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
like to
mean,
wear my mask for a time? It will rehydrate you, though you will not be able to breathe.
that sounds like a great idea.
Um,
I think the floor feels really nice right now, don't you? He just like kind of like lies on the ground and starts touching it.
oh gosh. Okay, note for the future: Scar is a lightweight. Um,
He's got hot. I mean, he would have been more of a heavyweight before his legs disappeared.
yeah.
Don't worry, I've got an idea. You see Neith bend down and like start fucking with the legs and
Ah.
lock the knees and then like hoist Scarra up.
You see
So
Scarra trying
that
to walk with just like straight legs. He's like,
put him under. Well, she like bends down to put him under her like shoulder, and starts helping him walk.
Oh, I was thinking a completely different way. I just thought he was like a plank and you're just holding him like a plank.
No, I think that she just like put the legs on autopilot so that they're just like and she's like just helping your upper torso stay up.
This feels really strange.
I just had the image of that cartoon of like baby centaurs, and like the horse half is going along fine, but the human baby half is just like.
I had the thought of like
that's exactly the image I had in my mind.
I was more thinking like
Excellent.
Wallace and Gromit, the
robot
houses,
yep.
Just like Wallace going like, ah!
I was for a second I was going to be impressed that you knew that reference because you're a baby, but also you're British.
English.
I'm British, yeah, and I watched that when I was younger. Also, because my parents were constantly be like, "You should watch these kind of cartoons. You should watch these shows because they're from a good era," kind of thing. And so they showed me like a lot of 80s, 70s, 90s stuff. So yeah, that's why I get those kind of references. Besides the point, yes, I understand I'm baby. Give me 2 weeks, I will no longer look like baby because growing in beard.
Unless something accosts us on the way back, I think we get back to the ship and get Scarra.
Yes.
Erstwhile hooks him up to an IV.
IV dripping more alcohol.
No, that's the opposite of what we need. So I guess typically the IV is more for the hangover, not while they're drunk.
Well, if I never become sober, then I'll never have a hangover.
And that's how Scarra became an alcoholic.
Life hack. I mean, yeah. All right. He'll drink some water and eventually feel better. Hopefully with the help of some psychic healing.
Yeah, you got them all sober. I mean, I think technically Erstwhile could just make you not be drunk in that way. That D&D is like removing poison.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably Erstwhile would not. But yeah, you get fixed up. You were gonna call Anna Molly. You said see the job stuff. Let her know what's going on.
Maybe somebody else should do that. Well, I'm on the IV.
All right.
I mean, Teddy, we'll converse in Korean with her.
All right. Yeah. So you don't need the translation AI. She tells you that the scientist that was kidnapped has been rescued. So that one's gone. Okay. But there is still the academic that needs off planet. trying to run from a crime lord.
Mm-hmm.
And the bounty mission, and the steal the recipe for from the fast food place is still on the table. So yeah, only the one job has been done by somebody else.
All right. Um. So, uh, figuring that out would hold a quick group meeting with the others of is there one of these that we want to ask her to hold on to? Well, I guess how long would it take to get to Minerva from here?
It's going to take you 18 days.
Okay, so that is quite the trip.
If we spike jumped, would it still? I mean, that is the
That's
spike jump.
That
including the
is
spike.
that's
Yeah,
the spike
okay.
jump.
Just making sure.
Yeah, without it, so the map that we have, that does not lay out over our physical universe.
Mm-hmm.
That is the map of the planet's locations in metadimensional space. So these planets in our physical universe, they could be in different galaxies. Like,
You would
so,
never
like,
get there
yeah.
with even faster than light technology or
Mm.
light speed, probably.
Mm.
FTL.
So yeah, you guys, your spike. So you guys got a spike one right now. So
Yeah.
the way I know it's 18 days is uh, travel time is for stuff is 6 days divided by your spike drive number. And so it's going to take you 6 days to get to the edge of the system where you're allowed to do a drill. Then the spike the drill will take you 6 days, and then you'll get to the edge of the Minervan system, and then it'll take you 6 days to get to Minerva.
Okay. And the edge of system transit is all normal space.
Yes. So yeah. Basically, once you hit a gravity well in metadimensional space, it like pulls you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's also the edge of these gravity wells is the only place where you can do a spike, a drill. So that's why you have to get to the edge. Yeah.
Okay, so it would take us like a month to get back here then, because it's 18 days there and then 18 days back.
Yeah. So she's probably not going to hold any of the jobs for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the thing. If you wanted to grab the guy who just wants off planet and is willing to pay, you could grab him.
Yeah, because I think because in my head we had wanted to drop him at the place where the bounty was, but I think that was just trying to be efficient about that. But
you easily drop him on Minerva. You probably would prefer it.
Yeah, and so Neith, Scarra, should we get the academic so that we have, we're killing two birds with one stone with this trip?
I mean, if we can make the most bank out of it, then sure. We're starting to look like one person now.
All right, well, I guess we should make sure that the guest quarters are ready and let Animali know that we are ready to take on that passenger and find out if we need to get him or if he's just gonna come to us.
All
right. Yeah, he's kind of in hiding right now. So he would appreciate someone to come and get him.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably at nighttime.
Yep. Okay, so I mean that could be all three of us after we've secured the ambassador's stuff on the ship.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, so as long as you don't do any weird shenanigans during the drop off, you guys get paid $10,000 and you are down one data pad.
Dollars? Do you know how much that's gone down in
credits,
currency?
Sorry. Credits.
We get paid in Roman numerals.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna add 10,000. So we now have 17,900. We should wait a bit just in case. Like we should not get the hover ATV or whatever it was for 15K just yet.
I didn't even think about that. But you're right, we should get one of those.
So you guys are going to need to fuel up here because the ship was empty. It's going to cost you 500 credits to fuel up.
Okay, we should do that. That's now what 300 credits remaining in the 17,000.
17,400.
400. Quick maths.
Once you guys are out and about, you guys can fuel up on gas giants. You don't have to fuel on a planet for free. So, but if for whatever reason you make it to a planet and you're out of fuel, it's going to cost you 500 credits.
Okay. So do we just like send a tube out into space and it just siphons up some of the gas giant?
Must be how it works. Either that or maybe you open
the ship
stuff
charges
and do like
you.
a low fly and just like gather up some of the
We just have a bag under the ship. We're like, come on, let's get some fuel.
Probably. I mean, probably it would make you probably have to sit there for a while you do it. That would be probably the downside to doing the Jupiter things because it would you'd have to like
gas prices
filter
are crazy
out
nowadays.
what is the fuel versus all the useless gas.
There's just gas stations set up at every single little gas pocket in the universe. As soon as you go out into space, you just like crash into a gas station.
But yeah, so you can be fueled up, ready to go. You have an address to meet this academic at. I don't think I saved picture.
And so, in addition to not having open carry, we also should not be walking around in body armor.
Not obvious armor, yeah.
Okay, so sticking with my secure clothing then.
Yeah, I'll stick with mine.
Sounds like we are maybe getting an NPC picture.
I thought I had one.
I posted what I think a space gas station looks like in the Discord.
I must not have. Sad day.
Well,
all right.
Maybe he'll last long enough that it'll be worth it to have one for next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways. you go to find who all's going, by the way. Is everyone going?
Yep.
If Scarra is sobered up enough.
I think Scarra is probably just like sipping on some water. He's emptied out his flask and just put water inside of it. Not vodka, water. And he's just drinking it. I think at this point he's pretty sobered up pretty quickly. Because he's had to do that a lot. He just like dumps the water on his head, goes and dries it real quick, and then just like, okay, I'm fine. Let's go.
Neith is like, must I go?
I mean,
you really don't want to, but given that this guy is in hiding, there's a chance that things will go bad with the pickup.
I think that having a skilled hacker on our team will come incredibly handy, as it always does.
I am that. Thank you for your flattery, Scarra.
I maybe not be completely sober yet.
All right.
Backhanded compliment. Here we go.
Do who wants to kiss? That's just all the teeth. No.
Bites his nose off.
There we go. I got it. Okay. So You make your way to this apartment. It's in not the greatest area of town. It's it's a well-developed city with a lot of money going into public infrastructure and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily look very bad. Um, but the types of apartments and businesses that are nearby, you can kind of tell like, all right, this isn't going to be a place where the wealthy spend a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you see some kids out on the street and stuff. You're going at nighttime, so you probably see whatever passes for gangs here on New Seoul. There's probably especially a lot of well, no, there's not, because there's no cars and stuff around. I was going to say motorcycle gangs, but they probably don't do that unless they're going to be doing some real gang shit.
Bicycle
Like,
gangs.
yeah. um,
Who can come up with the most intimidating bike bell sounds?
It's pretty like I think like a bunch of like graffiti artists and stuff. People who are technically like I mean, graffiti probably isn't a crime anymore, but I'd like to think on like some important buildings they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, probably very easy to clean up, but it's a waste of city resources.
Exactly.
What they would do, who knows? You probably don't know the legal system here quite that well to know how they treat misdemeanors. But yeah, you eventually make your way to this academic's apartment. It's like up a few stories, and then you kind of got to go. Uh, the doors are kind of like facing out right towards like an open walkway, and his is kind of like you do that, and then it's like down a hallway, so his isn't facing like where you can see sky. He's just like looking across the hall at another apartment, and it's like kind of towards the back, and there's like a light out, and you find this door.
Were we given the guy's name ahead of time?
No,
Okay.
just been being referred to as the academic.
NYP, no.
So Teddy will knock on the door.
You see kind of like a shadow move over the eye hole, and you just hear a voice in an accent I'm not going to try and do, but in a Scottish accent.
Go on,
Somebody,
yeah, my
I
permission.
can't. I literally have no ability to do it. I can't. I couldn't if I wanted to. Uh, um, just kind of just say, who is it?
We're the friends of Anna. We're here to I'm trying to think of a euphemism that isn't going to sound like we're taking them out to kill him. um, we are here to help you get away.
To take you on a vacation.
All right. Kind of says, all right, hurry up inside real quick. I'll get my stuff. And you hear like several locks unlock and like the beeping of a keypad.
Mm-hmm.
And opens the door, and he's kind of behind the door a little bit, and you see he's got a gun on him. He's not like, it's not pointed at you, but he's kind of still holding it.
So like holding the holster. Kind of
you don't see him very well. It's not super well lit in here, but immediately you see that the arm and hand, and they're covered in black fur. And as he uh, as he closes the door, you get a better look at this guy. Here we go. Gonna put him. There we are.
Oh.
Oh,
Not what
oh
I was expecting.
no. Oh no.
Can we cancel the job?
No. Oh. I don't know if you know this, David.
Terrier.
That is my university's mascot.
Oh, I didn't.
Really?
I was
gave
looking
Alex flashbacks.
Yeah.
I was looking up anthropomorphic terriers, and I wasn't getting terrible ones, so I just went with mascot and got this.
Yep. Nope.
So
that is my
hilarious.
university's mascot. You can see
What
the
are the
actual
chances?
logo on the bag.
What are the
Wow.
chances?
Oh boy.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Oh boy. Is it so? The mascot's name is Scotty. What's this guy's name?
He introduces himself as Alfie.
Okay. Give me a second, please.
How long will it take you to get your stuff?
Just a few minutes. I've been kind of,
Waiting for
ready
this?
to
Yeah.
go. And he kind of like is nervously walking around. He's still got the gun in his hand for like a couple minutes before he's like, oh shit, and kind of holsters it. And as he kind of gathers his stuff, he then puts on like this huge like coat, like a big hoodie over it, and he's like got some baggy pants on, and yeah, he's really trying to hide who he is, but his nose is still sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy, he is one of your kind.
Well, I mean, maybe some distant relation on Zabuth. Were there any other planets, or is it just Zabuth is the place for animal people?
Sabuth is pretty much the place for animal people.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's a big planet, so I don't know that we would have ever interacted, but people from Zabuth like to get out and explore.
Clearly. I mean, I'm pretty sure Teddy. Well, I may have. I don't know if I've worked for the people from Sabuth before, to be honest. I think Teddy might be the first person I've met from, like, properly spoken to from Sabuth.
Certainly possible. You humans do make up most of the population of the.
I mean,
The
I have
universe?
spoken to Xenos before. I have spoken and worked with other people before. It just, I'm from this. I'm from like the system that Pangea mostly lives in, so and there's a lot of humans around there, so he doesn't really delve more into that, but I'm used to seeing different races. I've worked with quite a few. In fact,
Yeah.
I find a lot of Xenos and other ways you may want to describe yourself more pleasant than humans, to be honest.
I agree.
Well,
Alfie kind of
When you say that's not okay, I can say.
pipes in and kind of says, well, Sabuth's a bit different in that we are human. We've just altered our DNA, in ancient times to be more like this. But we're not quite the same as
I don't
the
know.
diversity I know of on Pangea.
I mean, I'm not from the planet Pangea. I just am from the system.
Yes, as many people are, to my knowledge.
All right. So
Is the system called Pangea as well?
Most people would just refer to the system by the main planet name.
Okay.
Mhm. So Alfie, not to ask exactly why you need our help, but should we expect to run into any trouble because of this?
I sure hope not.
But in the worst case that we do, who or what should we be prepared for?
I seem to have angered one of the local gangs, and there's a slight bounty on my head. So look out for that. Not so much that not high enough that I think it would transfer systems or anything of that nature.
I mean,
Um,
there's not many commands that do that, to be honest. Unless, you wiped out a colony of people or something.
no, nothing like that. I was hired for something. I didn't quite know exactly what I was getting into, and then when I tried to back out of it, it didn't go well, and I may have destroyed much of my work on my during my escape. So
You are not also running away from an arranged marriage?
What?
no, no.
What?
Mentally notes that down.
Yeah.
No, I was hired by what I thought was a legitimate firm of some kind to do some some genetic enhancements for livestock and things of that nature. But it turns out I was being asked to provide genetic enhancements for this particular
Let me
crime
guess, like a
lord's
super
members.
soldier serum kind of thing.
Something of that nature. Yes, would
Don't
be.
worry, I've worked with those kind of. Well, I've worked with your end of helping people being transported to safer areas before. I've done this
Oh,
kind of work before. You're in safe
wonderful. Thank
hands.
you. Yes. So, okay, then, are we ready? And he's kind of pats himself down and
Yep. If you are.
Come with us. How far away have we parked? Like, walk wise, like, how long would it take us to get back to the ship?
um,
Can we
you're
make a
gonna.
route to avoid the
It's
gang areas, kind of thing?
gonna be. It might be hard to get out of this area directly without. It's kind of just. And it's an area of town that it's not well policed, we'll say. So the gangs tend to be more of an issue here than
Okay,
in
well,
other places. But if you get him to one of the trains or trolleys or subways or something like that, you should be able to get him to your ship no problem after that.
just in case we run into problems, I'm gonna stay behind Alfie. So if somebody does shoot at him, I can immediately go under his arms and fly him away, kind of thing.
So
So in the marching order, I would be behind Alfie if we did it like that.
think that's a good escape plan. I do think for just going along, you and I should probably hold hands as we go, Alfie, because a lot of people are just gonna assume, oh, the two Zabuthians, it's natural for them to be together, and so there will be less suspicion if they see us walking hand in hand.
Oh, that's a good idea. He'll kind of just hold a hand out.
And Teddy will take it, and he's just like nonplussed by it as we continue to like discuss the plans. And so, Neith, where do you think you will be most helpful?
On the ship.
I knew you were going to say that.
She's like looking back and forth through everybody.
All right. Well,
Or would you like me to look intimidating and stand in front?
no, I think we are going to have the best chance here if we just look like civilians out for a stroll. And so keep it calm, keep it casual, but keep your eyes peeled and be ready to spring into action if needed.
I could pick up a couple of locals to act intimidating.
Perhaps Scarra and I should hold hands as well. So it looks like we are on a double date.
I mean, sure, if it works for the cover.
Yep, the two Zabuthians and the
Webby hand.
two robot legs.
Yeah,
Just like
Neith,
I quickly just put like a glove on.
yes, the sticky, like kind of slightly wet hand of Neith with the webbed fingers locks around Scarra's hand. She attempts to not put her nails in his hand, but is holding as gingerly as she can.
I hope I don't have to get a robot
natural.
hand.
Yeah. No, she's not that strong, but actually she's not strong at all, but
I mean your strength probably beats mine, but I don't know.
Nah.
Nah.
I think Erstwhile is our only person with a positive modifier in strength.
I thought you did.
No, mine's a 0.
Oh, your dex, isn't it?
Well,
Right.
my dex is still a 0, but it's
Oh.
the base stat is better than my strength.
Interesting.
I mean, it's just how this system stats work that you need to get to a 14 for a +1.
Yeah. I
think
only have a
Neith
14
is
and 2 stats.
I think Neith is just trying to look as natural as possible, and it's really showing.
Okay. So how do we want to roll to try and get this guy to the train? I think my base assumption would be a sneak roll of some kind, but someone could maybe help out with another kind of role. Like maybe Teddy could help with the performance to look like you're a couple, or things like that. Something you could be doing to help what the overall sneaking is.
Mm-hmm.
You could roll those to help the sneak roll.
Yeah.
Can I possibly be like hand and held, and like the other one's like on a business call doing like already like a lot of like I'm using a lot of buzzwords, like trying to just act like I'm like in a business call, like just like
You're an attentive boyfriend.
Like, yeah, like I'm like trying to do like the administrator or / work role, like I'm like really work focused and just like making sure people like, oh, that guy's really busy, probably shouldn't go approach them.
Or is a better target to mug.
Or that.
But
I don't have anything in sneak, so
yeah.
Well, someone will need to roll the sneak.
Does
Other
any of
people
us have
can roll
sneak?
something to help.
I've got a -1 in sneak.
I've also got a -1 in sneak.
Hold.
I
could
have
just a -1 in sneak as well.
I could
Alfie
either go for it.
Can roll the sneak in that he doesn't have a plus, but he also doesn't have a minus.
Yep, so he's probably gonna be the best for that.
In order to maybe I shouldn't do the work stuff. Maybe I should just keep an eye out and use notice instead.
I'm sorry. Are we using a dex with this?
You could use dex.
I mean, I have a +1 to dex, so then I'd get +0.
I'm assuming I could roll charisma with my perform.
Yes.
I also have a +1 to charisma. But yeah. I'll probably just use notice if we want to give the can we all give a bonus if we do our individual stats, or is it only one person?
Multiple people can roll to see if you succeed on the bonus, but you can only one bonus goes through, so you can only get a +1 from that. You can get I can give you an additional +1 from circumstances, like if you arrange the circumstances really well. But in terms of like helping your friends, you can only get a +1.
Okay, so if we're trying to roll sneak, then maybe Alfie should do it, and then the three of us add on to it with other stats.
Yeah, that
maybe
seems to be what is happening. I mean,
So I would probably go for notice, I guess, because I have a +0 to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got my +1 with charisma, or perform is +1. Charisma adds an additional +1, so +2 total to this roll.
Yeah,
I probably won't get a +1 from any of my stats because I doubt I can say notice for either dex or charisma.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I got a 10 for perform.
Okay.
Nope. I am too distracted by Neith holding my hand.
It's so slimy. Yeah.
It is slightly slimy. All right.
I'm sure he's used to the slime by now.
I got a 12.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Double sixes.
That looks natural.
Okay, so yeah, you escort Alfie out of here, no problem. You get him to the train. You ride it to the stop, and it's a short walk back to the ship.
Nad
There we
Boredom.
go. Yes.
We named it so great. It's so easy to remember the name of it. What was it called again?
The Nad Boredom. It's one of our character sheets.
Yep, it is. Sure is. I wasn't looking. I was looking at Zoom.
David should just change his name to the ship name.
There we go.
Nah, boredom.
All right. Yeah. So he's on board. You guys have, already done all the stuff you need to do to be legally allowed to leave. You've gotten all your documentation and stuff set up. You did that when the the ambassador's furniture was being dropped off. So you guys are good to go.
No point in dilly dallying. We probably settle this guy into his room.
Yep.
All
Into
right.
his guest room.
Yeah, which
show him where like the bathroom is and all that. And
yeah, I think
the kitchen.
Teddy would do that stuff because he is less involved in the actual flying of the ship than the two of you are.
And Scarra gets ready to spike, which will probably
right.
he'll probably get like snacks and stuff ready.
You won't have to for 6 days. You won't have to do a drill for 6 days. It takes you 6 days to get to the edge of the system.
He's probably still preparing because it's been a while since he's done one of those, since he's actually jumped systems. I guess they did spike over to New Sol, didn't they?
We had someone do that for us, I think.
They did, yes.
Yeah, you were a passenger on a ship.
So it's been a while since he's done it himself.
But
he's still pretty good at it. So he's probably going to just get like rations ready. He obviously can leave the cockpit, but
Maiden voyage of the Nad Boredom. And as you take off, you start on your 6-day journey to the edge of the system.
You can let go of my hand now.
I think Alfie will go ahead and pay you in advance. I think once he's on the ship and you've taken off from the planet, he'll just go ahead and forward you the credits. You may think to yourselves, well, thank goodness we're not, some crooks who just push him out an airlock, but
yeah. He's clearly a bit too trusting of criminals already.
Yeah.
I mean, Scarra's given him his word that he's done jobs like this before. And what's more truthful than his word?
Yeah, if only the Trailblazer was here telling him he would be safe.
I mean,
but
I've done smuggling jobs before, and technically we're smuggling him, so...
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and delete Alfie off of the page.
No, he's gone! He's dead!
We don't need to keep seeing him.
Yeah, and so that was 2,500 credits.
Yes.
And gonna add that to our sheet. 19,900.
Oh, did you guys want to see Trailblazer Diego?
Yeah,
sure.
I forgot I have a sheet for him. Hey, all right. It didn't work.
I'm just thriving in anticipation right now.
That is.
Oh, there he is.
Goes. It's one of those AI make a face guys, but because it turns out trying to find people in white robes is very hard. It's just bathrobes. It's bathrobes all the way down. But yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll call it there for the night. You guys have gotten paid a few times, and you are starting the 18-day journey to Minerva.
All right.
Woo! Hooray!
Ooh.
And we can do stars and wishes.
Yeah.
Is there XP stuff first?
There is. So you're all going to get 3 experience. So that should level you guys up.
Yep, which I am probably going to figure out in the interim.
Yeah. My, suggestion is to don't change what your level is until you've done all the leveling.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll change it
that way. That way, you don't forget whether or not you spend your points.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so same deal. You get your 3 points. All those things. We can talk about that more later.
Yep.
So yeah.
I can go ahead and start with stars and wishes.
Sure.
My star is going to go to LB is Neith in her territory and being very territorial, and just that whole bit of like, what are you doing here? And just like the most not impolite, but like the least that she has been like putting on her customer service voice and stuff that we've seen. So that was fun. And then Wish. Ooh. And I think this is something that we can discuss more offline as well, but both of your characters are like, please do not do telepathy with me. And it's like, well, then why am I a telepath? And so figuring out how to make the telepathy be more
without permission.
Yeah. But make it be more useful. Because otherwise I should have just made Teddy a straight warrior. So figuring out more uses for the telepathy.
All right.
I think my star is gonna go to drunk Scarra because I always love to see what kind of drunk the characters are. And Scarra is a nap time drunk where they're like a little sloppy and then they're just like, I'm gonna sleep literally anywhere.
Just in the middle of the open public.
I appreciate that. And I think my wish is getting to know this gentleman that we're transporting on the because the whole thing with space is like it's a long time. You're a long time with the same people. So getting that downtime on the ship where we're like, so want to play a board game? Like getting to know each other. That's gonna be fun too.
Okay.
I know I should have used this time to think of a star, but my brain is still thinking. Sorry, 1 second.
No worries.
It's not like it's 4 a.m. there or something.
No, it's not. It's only 10 minutes to 4 a.m. 11 minutes. Therefore, it doesn't matter.
I mean, you could start with your wish if you have that ready.
Sure, I'll do that. Now I need to think of it. No. My wish is, it might sound boring, it's very Scarra themed though, is since it's his first time in a while doing a spike drive, I kind of want something to go slightly wrong that he has to fix the path. Like he might have fall out the spike for a few seconds and have to push back in, kind of thing. Make it a little bit challenging. Yes. And then my star is going to probably just how well Teddy handled all the diplomacy and talking to the actual diplomat, and he really showed professionalism and like showing how we should dress and how we should act and all that, and it's just like giving lessons and all that. I just think that was very fun and nice.
Okay. All right, David.
All right. I think my star is going to be I'm torn. It's kind of between you guys actually getting off planet and getting the maiden voyage up and running. I really love that. But also I was just very tickled by Neith just shooting the guy and being like, I'm done with this bullshit. We're talking in circles. He's dead now. Nobody's happy. Let's leave.
Yes. Nobody's gonna be happy in this situation. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And yeah, my wish is to kind of take take time with the travel on this and kind of fill out what's going on. Like I said, get some time to talk to Alfie and and maybe there's some piloting things that need to happen and stuff like that to to take the time necessary to make the distance that you're traveling kind of feel like a big thing,
Mm-hmm.
is kind of, I think, what my wish is for. But yeah.
Right. Well, we will find out some of that stuff in 2 weeks, when we are scheduled to return with more Escape Velocity. Just a reminder again, the channel is going to be mostly dark this weekend, as basically everyone is traveling somewhere. So probably not much in the way of streams until either Monday or next Tuesday, where we should hopefully be back with Squire Squad. Life has been getting in the way, and maybe it will continue to do so, but we're trying. But I think that's it for channel stuff. Any of y'all got stuff you would like to plug or promote? Then we are going to go ahead and sign off here. So, GG's everyone, and until next time, good games and good night, Internet.
Night, Internet.